Welcome, everybody. My name is Jeff Holland. I'm the director of the Annapolis Maritime Museum, and I want to welcome you all here. This event today is exactly one of the reasons why this institution exists. We're here to connect our citizens and visitors, and especially our school children, with this wonderful treasure in our own backyard, the Chesapeake Bay. So you can see we have a group of school kids from Eastport Elementary School, just a few blocks from here. This is part of our education program we call Muddy Feet, which stands for Maritime Undaunted, Damp and Dirty, Yucky Fun, Environmental Education and Training Program. And this is sponsored in large part by a generous grant from NOAA, the BWET program. And we're very thrilled to be able to say that we have expanded the number of schools that we're serving. We've doubled the number of schools that we're serving in the immediate area. We have multiplied the number of instructional hours 5 times over this past year alone, thanks to this grant. And in the next 3 years, we'll be able to serve every single public school student in the city of Annapolis with a meaningful watershed education experience 3 times before they graduate from high school. So we are proud to be able to tell you that, and if you want to take a glimpse at that process in action, just take a look at the smiles on those kids' faces outside. We've also just in the process of opening up our new exhibit we call Oysters on the Half Shell, that was produced through a generous grant from the Chesapeake Bay Gateways and Water Trails Network, the Chesapeake Bay Trust, the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority, and a number of other personal private donations and other organizations. And we've worked with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and Oyster Recovery Partnership, and DNR has been very generous in their support. So this is a partnership. This is a coalescence of all the great ideas. We want to be the public identity, the place where the public can come and see what you're doing out there around the watershed in action and get connected with the Bay. So again, we want to thank you all for being here. Stick around if you'd like to get a tour. I'd be happy to show you around. And meanwhile, I'll introduce the reason why we're here today. Jeff Nate. Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate it. Good morning, folks. My name is Jeff Lape. I'm director of the Chesapeake Bay program. I have the great pleasure of serving a couple of roles. I represent the Environmental Protection Agency in this grand partnership that works together to protect and restore the watershed and bay. I also serve in a role of representing all of the partners in the day-to-day coordination of our collective efforts. I want to say good morning and thank you to members of the press, the public, and partners for being here today on the release of the 2009 Annual Health and Restoration Assessment for the Chesapeake Bay and Watershed. Jeff Holland, thank you very much for hosting us. This is a wonderful venue and a reminder of a couple of things. One, the rich cultural and historical heritage of the Chesapeake Bay. And for me, Jeff, your description of what you're doing here in this place with these kids is just a microcosm of what I think we all imagine is happening throughout the entire watershed. So whether it's kids from Eastport Elementary or kids in the Sydney High School up in New York, they are all experiencing the importance of water resources and what its effect is on their local streams and rivers and ultimately on the Chesapeake Bay. So again, thank you very much. A big thank you to the various partners. A couple of times throughout this morning we're going to be referring to the executive summary of the Bay Barometer. On the back page, I would just ask you to take a quick scan of the full spectrum of folks that contribute to this important partnership in the Bay Barometer. It is pretty amazing. I would also like to do a couple of quick call-outs of some particular individuals. Alicia Pimentel, who is taking some well-deserved time off. So in absentia, I'm going to say a big thank you to Alicia. She was much of the power and thought in the design and production of this document, notwithstanding all of the partners who contributed. Matt Rath, Matt, for your video support that's up on the website, thank you. And I'd also like to introduce Margaret Enlow. Margaret, I said you do a jig across the front. I don't think we really want you to do a jig across across the front. Margaret is the new communication director for the Bay program. It's great to have you on board, and thank you in your first week helping to pull this off. We're blessed to be joined by several partners who will help present, take the next 30 minutes or so and help present the results of the 2009 Health and Restoration Report. We're fortunate to have Rich Patuk of EPA's Chesapeake Bay program, the Associate Director of Science, Peter Tango with the United States Geological Society, and Frank Dawson, Assistant Secretary from Maryland Department of Natural Resources. And there is another chair there for Hillary Park-Falk, who will be giving some perspectives on what 17 million people in this watershed can be doing. Before I turn it over to them, I'm going to share with you sort of my quick take on the punchlines. We've tried to make this simple in terms of giving a very clear sense of where we are on the Bay Barometer. From a health standpoint, we think we're at a scale of 45 out of 100, and restoration activities at 64 out of 100. I think what you'll see in this report for this year are some bright spots and slight improvements. However, it's still a 45 out of 100 from a health perspective. So it really tells us that the Chesapeake Bay remains in a degraded condition. So let us begin to dive in. Before I turn it over to Rich, I will mention one other thing. This report represents the tip of an information iceberg. There is tremendous amount of data and information that underlies this report. For those of you who want to burrow in, see the data, see the analysis, even download the monitoring data, I encourage you to go to our website, chesapeakebay.net. So with that, what we're going to do is walk you through the report, try to do that quickly. Rich knows. Quickly give you the highlights of the report, and then we'll save the last 15 or 20 minutes for Q's and A's, and I suspect a number of folks will be around afterwards for individual discussions. With that, Rich.